Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately before it is too late. Do not move past this critical message today. Heaven intercepted your feed at this exact second because you are standing at the threshold of a massive timeline shift. I am not asking for your attention. I am warning you. This moment is absolutely not a random coincidence. The algorithm did not bring you here by chance. If you scroll away right now, you are actively choosing to break your own divine alignment. Someone who treated you as completely replaceable is currently experiencing a public system crash. It is a massive and entirely irreversible public collapse. You know exactly who I am talking about right now. They walked around with absolute arrogance while constructing a deeply false narrative about your character. They fully expected your departure to break your spirit, but instead, you became the heavy uncertainty they were never built to handle. And now the very people they used to gossip with are watching them unravel. Their fake mask did not just slip down for a moment. It has completely shattered in front of everyone they tried to impress. Buckle in right now because things are shifting rapidly. What you are about to hear is not just a simple commentary on their tragic life. It is a specific and undeniable X-ray of the meltdown happening behind their closed doors. Do not leave this sanctuary before the final revelation. If you leave this video early, you will miss the exact prophetic instruction that guarantees your ultimate breakthrough. The enemy is screaming at you to swipe away right now. He wants you distracted and completely blind to the truth. He knows that if you hear this entire message, his dark hold over your life breaks forever. Lock your attention firmly on my voice today. The final verdict on your next 10 years is about to be read loud and clear. Let us go deeper into what you are physically feeling right now. You are deeply exhausted and your shoulders are tight. That heavy, suffocating feeling in your chest is very real. You wake up at 3 a.m. with your heart racing and their face flashing in your mind. Listen to me very carefully before you start doubting yourself. That is not just anxiety, and you are not going crazy. That physical weight is a severe spiritual reaction to the unseen war. Your highly advanced spirit is detecting the absolute panic of the enemies who just realized they permanently lost access to you. They are desperately starving for your pure energy, and the spiritual backlash of their hunger is hitting your physical body. Stop wondering why they always act like nothing ever happened. Stop waiting in your silent wound for an apology that will never come. They are entirely incapable of feeling true remorse. You have been fighting these dark battles in absolute silence for a very long time. You thought nobody noticed your warm tears falling quietly in the dark. You thought nobody saw how you held your integrity together when they lied on your good name. But you were entirely wrong about being invisible. The universe has been quietly watching your immense resilience. You were never just a regular person. You were a human battery, and they plugged directly into your soul. You gave them absolutely everything you had inside of you. You poured your golden light into their bottomless and empty void, because you are the ultimate cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. You have a heart that naturally wants to heal the broken things around you. But they did not want to be healed by your beautiful grace. They only wanted to consume your light so they could hide their own shadows. And when you finally had nothing to give, they discarded you. They threw you away and expected you to stay entirely broken. They wanted you completely paralyzed by the heavy chains of self-doubt. They waited with bated breath for you to fail publicly in the open. But they severely miscalculated the raw power of the anointed ones. Your silent departure was absolutely not a sign of your defeat. Your silence was a lethal weapon that instantly starved their demons of the oxygen they needed to survive. That dense brain fog you have been battling is not a medical condition. It is the lingering residue of their highly toxic spiritual cord. They attached themselves directly to your sensitive nervous system. They siphoned your natural genius and left you feeling confused about your reality. You probably blamed yourself for a long time while searching your soul for mistakes. But you did absolutely nothing wrong during that nightmare. You were just too pure for their corrupt matrix. You were never the strange anomaly in their otherwise completely healthy life. You were the clear and undeniable mirror reflecting their true self. The reaction against you got this violent because you got closer to their ugly truth than anyone before you ever had. They saw their own rotting reflection in your bright and beautiful light, and it terrified them to the very core of their empty being. So they had to smear your name to protect their fragile fake image. Every single tear you cried was collected as undeniable evidence against them in the courts of heaven. The cold nights you spent shivering in emotional pain were not a divine punishment. That intense isolation was actually your critical and sacred formation season. Heaven had to pull you away from their toxic matrix to protect your ultimate destiny. You were hidden in the dark, so you could learn how to shine without needing their validation. Let us look closely at the physical toll this battle has taken on your body. Your jaw is constantly clenched tight when you desperately try to sleep. You wake up feeling like you just ran a marathon in your dreams, and the sudden urge to cry hits you out of nowhere while you are just doing your normal daily tasks. This is completely valid. You are carrying a massive unseen weight. You have always been the ultimate stabilizer for everyone around you. Whenever chaos erupted, you were the calm and steady anchor they clung to. But being the incredibly strong one made you the perfect target for a master manipulator. They scanned the room and saw your beautiful glowing energy shining in the dark. They did not approach you out of genuine love, because a parasite only approaches out of severe spiritual starvation. They plugged their empty roots deep into your pure and trusting soul. You poured your golden light into them, because that is what an empath naturally does. You wanted to heal the deeply broken parts of them, but a dark parasite never actually wants to be healed by the host. It only wants to consume your pure energy until there is absolutely nothing left to take. And that is exactly why you feel so incredibly empty today. I know exactly how much it hurts when you look at them now. They parade around the world acting like they are living their absolute best life without you. They post the smiling pictures and tell everyone how perfectly fine they are, while you sit in silence trying to heal the deep wounds they caused. And it makes you totally sick to your stomach because you know the dark truth behind that fake mask. Do not let their cheap public illusion fool your highly attuned spirit. Every time you hear their name, your stomach suddenly drops to the floor. That sharp physical reaction is not a sign of your emotional weakness. It is your nervous system actively rejecting a deeply toxic frequency because your body remembers the severe trauma of being slowly drained of your life force. You gave them your precious time, and they repaid your beautiful loyalty with cruel and highly calculated mind games. You probably spent countless nights staring at the ceiling in complete silence. You replayed every single conversation while desperately trying to find your own mistakes. You thought that if you just loved them harder, they would finally change their toxic ways and see your massive value. But you cannot love the demons out of a person who truly enjoys playing with the devil. You were fighting a heavy spiritual war while they were just playing a selfish game. The dense brain fog you feel right now is incredibly frustrating. You used to have such a sharp mind and a fiercely strong intuition, but now you struggle to focus on even the most basic daily tasks, and it makes you feel like you are losing your grip on reality. Listen to me very carefully right now. This deep mental exhaustion is absolutely not a medical condition. It is the direct result of a prolonged spiritual attack on your energy field. They deliberately created a chaotic environment to keep you constantly off balance, because a confused mind is much easier to completely control and manipulate. They gaslighted you until you actually started questioning your own fundamental sanity. And when you finally gathered the courage to set a firm boundary, they ran to the flying monkeys and painted you as the ultimate villain of the story. Being completely isolated by the very people you trusted is a crushing blow. The silence of those who stood by and watched you get destroyed is deafening. But heaven isolated you on purpose to permanently remove those fake friends from your future. You are the rare cycle breaker of your family line, and you carry a heavy ancestral mantle that normal people simply cannot comprehend. Their brutal betrayal was the painful exit you desperately needed. You are currently stuck in the painful phase of waiting in the wound. You are waiting for them to finally realize the immense value they threw away. You want them to deeply feel the agonizing depth of the pain they caused you. But a true narcissist is completely incapable of genuine self-reflection or deep empathy. They are hollow vessels, wandering the earth while constantly looking for their next human battery to completely drain. Stop holding your breath for an apology that is never going to arrive. Your precious healing does not require their fake closure or their empty words. Heaven has already recorded every single dark lie they whispered in the shadows. The heavy scales of divine justice are tipping in your favor right at this very moment, and you do not need to lift a single finger to avenge your broken heart. The universe is actively handling it for you. That heavy physical pain in your chest is finally starting to lift. You are slowly unplugging your pure energy from their deeply toxic matrix. It feels incredibly uncomfortable right now because you are detoxing from their intense control. But this painful spiritual detox is the mandatory bridge to your ultimate freedom. While you finally shed the heavy burdens that were never yours to carry, you are stepping back into your own sovereign light. They thought your total exhaustion would permanently break your beautiful spirit. They expected you to stay quietly, hidden in the dark shadows of their loud lies. But they are about to learn a very harsh and truly unforgettable lesson. The radiant light inside of a chosen one can never be permanently extinguished by a parasite, because your pure energy is already regenerating and your true power is waking up. Your ultimate vindication is walking through the door. Now let us go much deeper into the unseen root of your struggle, because what you are physically feeling right now is absolutely not a new sensation. There is a specific physical reason your reality has not shifted yet, and the gap between you and the lucky ones is not a lack of faith. It is not about your daily discipline. It is a highly specific, suppressed frequency hidden deep inside your own mind. Scientists have a clear name for this hidden and powerful state. They call it the gamma brainwave. And it is the exact frequency your brain was running effortlessly when you were a bright child. Back when brilliant ideas came to you so easily, while learning felt light, and the universe constantly sent you massive synchronicities, when the entire world felt like it was completely on your side. But then the harsh modern world went to work on your pure spirit. The constant stress and the survival routine actively shut down your natural power. Every single year, this sacred frequency was pushed deeper below the surface. And then, the master manipulator arrived to drain whatever energy you had left, because they targeted your bright light and systematically suppressed your natural gamma frequency. That is exactly why your massive financial breakthroughs refuse to manifest today. It is why your learning feels slower and your mind is clouded with heavy fog. The brilliant version of you with lightning intuition went completely silent without any explanation. Most people will live their entire lives without knowing this tragic suppression happened to them. But you are absolutely not like most of the people out there. They fully expected your deep exhaustion to keep you trapped forever. They wanted you to stay weak and confused about your own beautiful reality. But let me completely reframe your entire existence right here and right now. You did not lose the spiritual war when they walked away from you, and you did not lose anything truly valuable when that toxic relationship finally ended in ruins. You probably did not realize it at the agonizing time of your departure, but your absolute silence was a highly lethal and unstoppable spiritual weapon. They thrived on your dramatic reactions and your desperate attempts to fix them. They needed your constant tears to feel powerful in their own miserable lives, because every single time you tried to explain your pain, you gave them massive fuel. But the moment you walked away and closed the heavy door, everything changed. Your strict no contact was not an act of running away in fear. It was a firm, divine boundary that permanently cut their dark supply line. You are actively starving their demons by simply refusing to engage with their madness, while you took away the only oxygen their fragile fake ego ever had. This brings us to a critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of people. A master manipulator cannot survive in a total and absolute vacuum. They are deeply hollow vessels that require a constant stream of external validation, and the specific gravity of your heavy silence is currently crushing their chest, because they are suddenly drowning in the loud noise of their own miserable making. They expected you to beg for their empty attention and fake affection. They wanted you to write long paragraphs explaining how much you missed their presence, but you gave them absolutely nothing but the cold and deafening sound of silence. And that unexpected restraint is exactly what triggered their massive internal panic today, while they realized they permanently lost the only genuine diamond they ever held. Your profound silence is currently exposing every single lie they ever told, because while they are desperately scrambling to find a cheap new supply, you are resting. You are gathering your scattered energy and preparing for a massive personal shift. Heaven is using your quiet obedience in private to set up a massive public victory, and you became the heavy anchor that completely shattered their fragile little boat. Do not ever underestimate the sheer terror you cause them right now. They look at your quiet dignity and they feel completely sick with bitter regret. Your complete absence is slowly destroying the false reality they worked so hard to build, and they are absolutely powerless to stop the divine justice that is coming, because the tables have fully turned in your favor while you simply stood still. They are frantically checking to see if your light has finally faded away. They send their little flying monkeys to spy on your quiet new life, because they desperately need to know that you are still suffering deeply in the dark. But heaven has placed an invisible shield of pure protection completely around you, and their toxic arrows can no longer penetrate the sacred space you have carefully built. Every single day that you refuse to react is a massive spiritual blow. It proves that their control over your mind was only a temporary illusion. You have completely unplugged from their chaotic matrix, and they feel the sudden loss. They are spiritually bleeding out because they no longer have your golden energy, and your beautiful boundaries are literally choking the life out of their dark attachments. This is the raw and uncomfortable truth they could never say out loud. You were always the powerful one in that highly toxic and draining dynamic. They were just a clever parasite pretending to be a strong, fearless king, and the moment the pure host finally decides to walk away forever, the parasite dies a very slow and painful emotional death in the absolute dark. Stay completely anchored in this new reality as we move forward today. Do not let your gentle, empathic heart trick you into feeling sorry for them. Because true divine justice requires you to stay completely out of the messy way. Heaven is currently working behind the unseen scenes to dismantle their entire corrupt foundation, while you only need to maintain your powerful silence and watch the mighty fall. Listen closely, because the enemy tried to hide this exact revelation from you. You were never meant to fit into their small and miserable world, because you carry a specific and irreplaceable gravity that makes time itself look like a massive fool. They expected your painful departure to completely destroy your spirit, but you did not just survive their heavy and toxic storm. You became the blazing sun of your own beautiful reality. Time was absolutely supposed to aid you under that heavy daily pressure, yet here you are walking through the fire and glowing brighter than ever before. You stepped out of their highly toxic matrix, and you literally aged backwards. Nothing makes your dark enemies sicker than watching you step into a room looking completely unbothered. They spent years quietly praying for your ultimate and public downfall. They wanted the bitter betrayals to carve deep wrinkles into your face, and they desperately tried to drain the bright life out of your beautiful glowing eyes. But you came out shining like you cracked a sacred code they will never have. You are the rare cycle breaker of your entire ancestral bloodline. and every time your name comes up, it hits them with an agonizing and heavy weight. They finally realize they threw away the only genuine diamond they ever held in their hands, tossing away a priceless treasure just to play with cheap and dirty rocks. And this is exactly where their entire dark manipulation completely and utterly miscalculated. They thought they could easily replace your golden energy with a new tragic victim. But your specific depth is utterly unreplicable in this shallow and empty world. Type 1111 in the comments if you feel this atmosphere shifting right now. Claim your absolute power before we move into this next shocking revelation. Let me completely reframe your entire reality about their current fake public happiness. They are absolutely not thriving without you in their empty and miserable life, because they are secretly starving to death behind their locked and silent doors. Heaven is now releasing 3 specific truths about their secret and silent panic. The third truth is the most powerful one, so you must pay very close attention. The first truth is that they are deeply terrified of your total and permanent absence, because you were the ultimate emotional stabilizer that kept their fragile world from completely falling apart. Without your pure light, they are stumbling around in complete and total darkness. They used your pure empathic heart as a free human battery for many long years. Every time they felt deeply insecure, they just plugged into your endless grace. But now, the ultimate power source is permanently disconnected from their highly corrupt system. They try to find new, naive people to feed their endless and hungry void. But nobody else has the pure spiritual endurance that you naturally possess inside. The second undeniable truth is about their fragile and carefully crafted public mask. The heavy fake mask is finally starting to slip in front of their loyal audience. The very people they used to gossip with are noticing the deep and obvious cracks, because maintaining a false image requires a massive amount of stolen daily energy. And they no longer have your golden supply to keep that fake illusion alive today. They are desperately trying to hold their collapsing world tightly together in public. They act loud and extremely arrogant to hide their severe internal panic and deep fear, but heaven sees right through their pathetic and desperate little daily charade. They wake up every morning feeling the devastating void of your permanent absence. And they know deep down that they will never find another pure soul like yours. You are a demonstrated warrior of light who walked safely through the darkest valleys. You carried their heavy burdens while they actively plotted your painful and silent demise, but the spiritual cost of their brutal betrayal was compounding heavily every single day. The universe keeps a very strict and detailed ledger of every single stolen tear, and their massive energetic debt has finally come due in the high heavenly courts. Do not look back with any pity or soft sorrow for their current pathetic state. You cannot save someone who is deeply committed to misunderstanding your gentle heart. Your pure light was simply too bright for their dark and damp little cave, so they tried to aggressively extinguish your flame to make themselves feel much taller. But your fire was divinely protected by the highest angelic forces in the universe. This is exactly why you look so incredibly radiant and deeply peaceful today. You finally dropped the heavy, toxic luggage that was slowing your massive spiritual ascent, and you are stepping into your permanent and untouchable, ageless glow right here and right now. The enemies are watching your glorious rise from the dirty bottom of their deep pit. And nothing tortures a dark narcissist more than watching their victim become a mighty king. We are approaching the third and most explosive truth about their complete collapse. You must stay with me, because this next revelation is the key to absolutely everything. The Matrix programming wants you to doubt your own massive and undeniable victory today, and it wants you to feel guilty for finally choosing your own beautiful peace. But heaven is demanding that you wear your heavy crown with absolute, fierce pride. You are no longer the broken empath waiting for an empty and fake apology. You are the sovereign ruler of your own shifting and beautifully aligned reality. The heavy scales of divine justice are moving rapidly as we speak right now. Before we go any further today, I must heavily interrupt this transmission for just a moment. If you are hearing this right now, it is highly classified. There is a physical, biological reason your reality has not shifted yet, and a team of neuroscientists just uncovered exactly why you feel so drained. You are exhausted because the dark matrix deliberately engineered a frequency to suppress your brain. They wanted to block your natural wealth, attracting state forever. But a recently leaked CIA document revealed something truly incredible. It showed a highly suppressed 7-minute audio ritual that forces your brain back into synchronized gamma coherence. This was absolutely not meant for the masses to find out today. It was strictly designed to keep the dark elite in total, absolute power. But now, rare cycle breakers like you are using it secretly to manifest massive windfall wealth. You do not need a $7,000 biofeedback machine to heal your mind today, and you do not need years of painful spiritual healing or endless meditation. The dark elites are panicking and actively trying to scrub this leaked protocol from the internet forever. They want you confused by cheap and dirty fakes. I will tell you exactly how to claim this frequency before this message ends. The official protected link is quietly waiting in the pinned comment below, but you must strictly wait before you click it. Because there is something highly critical you need to understand about your enemy first. What if the massive delay in your heavy blessing is simply a blocked cellular frequency? Let us return to the third and most explosive truth about their complete public collapse. The third truth is that their loyal flying monkeys are finally waking up. The very people who helped them smear your good name are starting to see the ugly cracks while they watch the master manipulator slowly lose their tight grip on reality. And the entire fake narrative is unraveling publicly right before their confused eyes. The enemy firmly thought they could easily turn the whole world against you. They whispered dark lies to anyone who would listen to their pathetic victim story. But their toxic lies required your constant dramatic reactions to seem completely real. And because you gave them absolute silence, their stories started sounding incredibly crazy and unhinged, which perfectly exposed their deep manic obsession with your beautiful life. Now the naive people around them are quietly backing away in total, absolute disgust. The narcissist is frantically looking around the empty room for a new emotional savior. They are desperately trying to find another pure empath to drain completely dry, but nobody else carries the specific divine gravity that you naturally possess. You were the ultimate rare diamond, and they literally threw you directly into the mud. Every single new person they meet feels completely hollow and deeply empty to them. They try to recreate the magical high they felt when they were draining your golden energy, but the universe has firmly blocked them from ever finding that pure light again. Heaven is forcing them to sit quietly in the dark mess they actively created. They are completely choking on the bitter ashes of their own burnt bridges today. Do not let your gentle, empathic heart trick you into feeling bad for their pathetic state. They made a highly calculated and cruel choice to completely destroy your beautiful peace, and now they must pay the heavy energetic toll in the high courts of heaven. You are absolutely not responsible for saving a parasite from its own toxic internal poison. You are only responsible for protecting your beautiful and sacred inner peace. You survived a covert spiritual assassination attempt on your precious and pure life. They aimed directly at your pure soul, hoping to extinguish your bright fire forever, but you are a demonstrated warrior of light who cannot be easily defeated. You absorbed their dark attacks and somehow transmuted that heavy pain into pure, untouchable power. And now you are rising from the dark ashes, looking completely invincible. Your glowing aura is currently blinding the very demons that tried to unfairly break you. They watch you from a safe distance and feel completely sick with deep, bitter envy because they are aging rapidly like spoiled milk left out in the hot summer sun. while you are stepping into your permanent, ageless glow with total, effortless grace. You bent time itself and reclaimed the beautiful crown they desperately tried to steal. They sit alone at night and frantically replay every single massive mistake they made. The immense weight of their deep regret is literally crushing their chest right now, as they fully realize that their dark manipulations cost them the greatest blessing heaven ever sent them. But the sacred door is now permanently locked and completely sealed from the inside. They are entirely locked out of your glorious and abundant future forever. Now I need you to imagine this exact scenario happening behind their closed doors. The entire false reality they built is completely caving in on them right now. Those loyal flying monkeys who blindly helped them spread toxic lies about you are suddenly waking up. They are finally seeing the extremely ugly truth behind that perfectly curated public smile. The master manipulator always relies on a naive audience to validate their crazy stories. They need those weak followers to constantly feed their bloated and fragile ego, but the dark spell they cast over those people is rapidly breaking today. The flying monkeys are quietly backing away because the narcissist is acting completely unhinged and desperate. They are watching the grand illusion utterly shatter. Every single time they try to aggressively smear your good name now, it violently backfires. The people listening are starting to ask very hard and uncomfortable questions. They are wondering why this person is so deeply obsessed with someone who completely walked away. Your powerful and absolute silence is exposing the true, deeply toxic source of the heavy drama. Type 777 in the comments right now if you feel this massive shift. Lock in your pure frequency before we look deeper into their dark and lonely prison. The flying monkeys are not just walking away from the sinking ship today. They are actively turning against the very person they used to fiercely protect and proudly defend. The loyal traitors are finally betraying the cruel master. It is a mathematically precise and absolutely unavoidable karmic reversal. The exact same people they used as weapons against you are now pointing their sharp arrows backward. The narcissist is frantically looking around the empty room for a friendly face, but they are met with cold stares and total absolute disgust from their former loyal crowd. Their dark kingdom is completely crumbling into mere dust. This is exactly what happens when a massive lie gets built that incredibly big. It eventually collapses under the heavy weight of its own dark and twisted gravity. They thought they were the untouchable king of their little toxic matrix, but heaven has cornered them in a tight space with absolutely no hidden exit doors left. The heavy walls are rapidly closing in on their fragile fake reality. You need to truly understand the extreme depth of their current, lonely isolation. They do not have a single genuine friend in this entire massive world. Every relationship they ever built was strictly based on manipulation and emotional theft. And now that they have absolutely nothing left to steal, nobody wants to be around their miserable, heavy energy. They are entirely and completely alone in the dark. Your beautiful, pure light used to instantly warm up their cold and damp existence. You generously gave them the instant social proof they desperately needed to look normal. But without your glowing presence standing quietly by their toxic side, their true dark nature is fully exposed for everyone to clearly see and judge. They look exactly like the empty and soulless parasite they truly are. Listen to me very closely because this next part is highly critical for your journey. The universe is intentionally stripping away every single layer of their fake protection. God is systematically removing every person who used to enable their terrible behavior. This is absolutely not a random string of very bad luck hitting them today. This is a highly coordinated and divine spiritual takedown. They are desperately trying to find a brand new human battery to plug into. They want someone pure and trusting to absorb all their heavy, toxic waste. But heaven has placed a massive warning sign directly over their dark head. People can intuitively sense the severe danger hiding right behind their empty and desperate eyes. The spiritual mark of the ultimate betrayer is highly visible today. Read that again in your spirit and let it settle deep into your bones. You are watching the ultimate consequence of someone fighting against a chosen one. They picked a brutal war with a highly protected warrior of light, and they severely lost. Now they must sit in the absolute ruins of the fake life they ruthlessly built. The heavy, specific gravity of their deep regret is suffocating them. Their phone is completely silent, and their crowded rooms are now entirely empty. The flying monkeys have scattered, and the fake loyal friends have completely disappeared. The narcissist is trapped alone with the loud and terrifying demons in their own head, and the only thing they can constantly think about is the massive mistake they made. They threw away a priceless diamond for a handful of dirt. Underneath all of that loud noise and public arrogance is a deeply broken shell. The intense psychological pressure cooker is currently pushed to the absolute maximum limit. They cannot sleep, and they absolutely cannot find a single moment of peace. The heavy divine judgment is pressing down on their chest like a massive concrete block. The grand finale of their toxic show is rapidly approaching now. You have waited in the painful dark for this exact moment for a very long time. You held your quiet dignity while they loudly destroyed your precious good name. But the painful season of your silent waiting is officially coming to a complete end today. The explosive turning point where everything finally shatters is right here. Get completely ready, because the ultimate truth is about to be revealed. Now, I need you to close your eyes for just a second and picture this. We have reached the exact cinematic turning point where everything finally explodes in public. The narcissist is standing right in the middle of a crowded room, filled with the very people they used to gossip with. These are the same flying monkeys they fed with toxic lies about your character. And the entire mask is about to violently shatter into a million tiny pieces. Someone casually brings up your name in the conversation. The master manipulator instantly tries to drop their usual sarcastic and cruel joke to minimize your worth. But this time, something is deeply and permanently broken in the air. The room does not laugh at their tired old joke. Instead, a heavy and deafening silence fills the entire space. Everyone turns and looks at them with cold and piercing eyes. A former loyal follower looks them dead in the eye and speaks up. They openly question the very stories the narcissist spent years carefully constructing. They ask why the narcissist is still so obsessed and bitter about someone who walked away with total grace. The master manipulator feels a sudden wave of hot panic rush through their entire body. Their hands start shaking because they realize they completely lost control of the narrative. They try to raise their voice and force the old, arrogant dominance back into the room. They scream and scramble to defend their fragile ego with more desperate lies, but the crowd just stares at them like they are completely unhinged. The powerful illusion of their charming superiority has completely vanished. They are exposed as a pathetic and small bully right in front of the people they tried to impress the most. And then it happens. The absolute public meltdown they always terrified of experiencing. They completely snap under the intense pressure of the truth and start yelling like a mad person. They throw a childish tantrum right there in public, while everyone watches in total, absolute disgust. Every single toxic trait they hid behind closed doors is suddenly on full display for the world to see. This is the exact public humiliation they spent years trying to deflect onto your innocent shoulders. The universe has delivered a swift and undeniable karmic boomerang straight back to their face. They are drowning in the loud noise of their own wicked making, completely unable to stop the massive avalanche of their own failure. The dramatic collapse is absolute, irreversible, and permanently etched into the memory of everyone present. You won this brutal war without lifting a single finger to defend your name. Your strict silence was the lethal weapon that starved their dark demons and forced them to destroy themselves. You did not have to argue or fight back in the mud, because heaven took your case into the highest celestial court. The divine verdict has just been executed in plain sight for the whole world to witness. The specific gravity of their intense regret hits them like a freight train at that exact second. They look around that crowded room and realize every single bridge is burnt to ash. Their power is completely gone. Their fake empire is reduced to dust. And the golden light they tried to extinguish is shining brighter than ever before. They are finally eating the bitter fruit of the seeds they selfishly planted. That is the exact karmic X-ray of the collapse happening behind their closed doors and in their public life. The tormentors are officially broken, the cycle of abuse is permanently severed, and you are standing tall on the other side of the fire, completely untouched and completely free. The heavy chains that bound your bloodline for generations have been shattered into pieces by your divine resilience. Take a deep and slow breath right now and feel this massive victory settle into your soul. You survived the darkest night of the human soul. You walked through the deep valley of betrayal and came out glowing like pure gold. The enemies who wanted you buried alive only served as the shovels that dug up your ultimate treasure. You are the undisputed victor of this unseen spiritual war. You have officially won the massive unseen spiritual war today, and the heavy dark chains of the toxic matrix are completely broken. But your ultimate financial breakthrough is still sitting quietly at the door. Your logical left brain will try to inject heavy doubt right now, while it loudly tells you to hesitate and carefully calculate your next move. Silence that dark voice immediately. That sudden hesitation is the exact matrix programming designed to keep you permanently broke. If your powerful spirit is vibrating with a cellular knowing today, heaven demands your immediate action. There is a specific biological reason your massive blessing is still heavily delayed, and it is absolutely not a lack of your daily faith or your personal discipline. It is a highly specific biological signal called the gamma brainwave. Your brain ran this beautiful frequency effortlessly as a child, but the harsh modern world systematically suppressed your natural genius over many years. Princeton University deeply studied this specific brainwave for many years. They confirmed that the legendary flow state is driven entirely by pure gamma activity. Columbia University discovered that a strong gamma signal radiates powerfully outward, and it actively influences your precious children and the very people closest to you. And after decades of intense research, a dedicated team of neuroscientists completely cracked the ancient code. They compressed an entire gamma activation protocol into a simple 7-minute audio track. You do not need years of painful spiritual therapy or any expensive biofeedback machines. You simply put on a pair of headphones and completely relax your tired mind, while the sacred sound wave does what the dark world spent decades ruthlessly undoing. This highly classified and heavily protected protocol is called the Genius Song. Over 18,000 chosen ones have already used it to rapidly unlock their blocked finances. A completely exhausted nurse from California said her life now feels beautifully enchanted. A struggling business owner from Texas said Gamma solves his hardest problems while he sleeps deeply, and a weary woman completely shattered her generational family curse in just a few short weeks. The dark elite have quietly paid thousands of dollars for clinical sessions to access this exact state. They strongly prefer this powerful technology, remain entirely out of reach for rare cycle breakers like you, but through this specific message today, you can access it for a tiny fraction of its true value. The terrified elites are severely panicking and actively trying to scrub this leaked document from the internet forever, because they desperately want to keep your spiritual energy permanently suppressed. Do not look for this specific frequency on popular public streaming platforms. The cheap copies circulating out there contain absolutely zero real brain entrainment technology. They are completely diluted counterfeits, actively designed to keep your powerful gamma totally dormant. The only authentic and fully verified version is waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment below, so you must guard your precious energy from those fake frequencies. The universe does not require you to take a single heavy risk today. You are fully protected by an ironclad energetic protection guarantee. If you do not feel the massive shift you truly deserve, every single penny returns to you without any question. 4 highly powerful bonuses are also waiting for you right now, including a special audio engineered for your children and a heavily guarded secret prosperity book that changes absolutely everything. Do not let the dark elite permanently steal this frequency from your royal bloodline. Click the specific link in the pinned comment below right now. Activate your true frequency before your authentic access is completely revoked forever. God does not measure your faith by your loud thoughts, because heaven strictly measures your faith by your speed of immediate obedience. The sacred door is standing wide open for you to simply walk through today. We are going to fully seal this divine decree right here and right now. Say this powerful statement out loud with me today. I absolutely claim my permanent freedom, and I take back my stolen energy. Now type the exact words, "I am free," in the comments below to physically anchor this massive shift, and press the like button to put a strong spiritual shield around this undeniable truth. Subscribe to this sacred sanctuary so you never miss the exact prophetic instruction heaven releases next. You walked into this painful season completely bleeding from heavy and unfair wounds. But look at you shining so incredibly bright right now. You are finally stepping into your permanent and untouchable ageless glow, while your true gamma is fully reactivated and your ultimate destiny is unlocked forever. Do not ever let anyone tell you that your deep sensitivity was a weakness. It was always your greatest spiritual weapon against the dark matrix. The universe is fiercely protecting your beautiful heart as you move forward into this new season, and they will never be able to steal your bright light again. You are deeply loved, and you are completely irreplaceable in this massive world. Walk proudly in your new freedom today, because the absolute victory is finally yours.